It's that time. We're going around the National, and we are going to start with the Norris Trophy finalists announced today. And I think these were the three guys that, if I were voting, I would have had at the top of my ballot. You can see it there. Victor Hedman, a guy that Brian Lawton drafted many years ago when he was the GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Continues to be a force in this league. Great numbers this year. 85 points for Hedman. Roman Josi, we talked about the year he had. I mean, look at the numbers. 96 points for Josi this year, and then Cale Makar, 28 goals.
My goodness.
And it's kind of incredible the years that these three guys had. Roman Josi with the Preds talked about the honor earlier today.
A huge honor. Nominated with those guys too. I mean, obviously Makar and Hedman, two unbelievable players, and guys I love watching play, guys I love competing against. So it's definitely a huge honor to be nominated with those guys. I think every year is a bit different. I think I said a lot of times, like coming out of last year, I wasn't too happy with my year, and I knew I had to like change some little things. And I think just this year the team played really well. I mean, we had a lot of guys with career years, which helps you as a player and makes your life a lot like your game and a lot easier. So I think it's just a combination of everything a little bit.
Great seasons by all three of those guys. And here's the last five Norris winners. Adam Fox won it last year, Josi 2 years ago, and then Mark Giordano, Victor Hedman, also a winner. He's a kind of a perennial finalist now. He's such a great player. And Brent Burns back in 16-17. And I will start with our resident defenseman here. What do you make of these three guys? Because, again, good luck picking the winner because all three were huge factors for their respective teams.
Wrong guy to go to at this time because now I'm hedging my bet.
Really?
I look at those three guys, and can you go wrong with either one of them?
No, you can't.
You just can't.
No.
I always say, Lots, the guy you drafted, still to me is the best all-around defenseman in the game. If I'm starting a team, I want Victor Hedman. Having said that, Roman Josi had a magical year where I think he kind of willed that Nashville Predator team. I know he had a lot more support from the offensive standpoint up front, and those guys got it going, Johansson and certainly Duchesne. So I thought he had a great year, but Makar is so dynamic. Who do I go with? I kind of think Josi's going to win it. Okay. My opinion this season, I think we take Hedman for granted because he's so damn good, and it's his sixth consecutive year, and maybe we shouldn't because he could win it every year. So does that help at all? I don't know.
No, that didn't help.
Just a little bit.
You know what? The reason I went through all is I respect all three guys, and they mean so much to their teams, and they all bring it a little different way. Like I said, I will preface, I think Victor Hedman's the best all-around, all-purpose defenseman in the game, but those other two guys are outstanding. I think Josi's going to get it. I might give it to Makar, so that's...
Yeah.
I can make a case for all of them.
Covered the base.
I covered the base.
Covered the base. Yes.
Lots. Maybe you can be more definitive than me.
Yes.
I'll abstain on Hedman, although I will mention that he has been nominated like 6 years in a row now. And the last time that happened, it was a guy by the name of Nick Lidstrom. So that's pretty good company that he's in, but I don't believe that Victor will win this year the award. However, I do feel that Cale Makar, who is the flashiest of players, also will not win the award this year. Not because he's not a great defenseman. I just think he's younger. I think that he's had an incredible year. But I think what Roman Josi did on the team he's on was so special, so unique. There's so many things that fans and the rest of the world are getting clued into in terms of categories like zone exits and things like that.
Zone entries, exits.
Yeah, exits, entries, you name it.
He's everywhere.
He is.
Yeah.
He literally is. And then when you add in the points, the jump up that he had, leading his team in scoring, being so dynamic at times, I just don't see how he doesn't win it. The other two players were great. They are great. There's not a person in hockey that wouldn't want any of those guys on their team. But only one guy can win it, and I think it's Roman.
Yeah, good assessment from the standpoint that a lot of us didn't even think Nashville was going to be a playoff team.
Weren't sure.
And a lot of players stepped up, but nobody more so for their team than Roman Josi.
Yeah, it's three great defense. I think the right three guys are nominated, and that says a lot when you think about Charlie McAvoy's season and Adam Fox's season. And you saw on our board there, John Carlson had another really good year. Justin Falk flies under the radar. You talk to people in St. Louis, they're just blown away by the way he plays night in and night out. So there's so many good young defensemen right now. I could name another 10 guys. If I'm picking this year, I probably have to go with Roman Josi. But it's tight. To me, it's Josi and Makar. I agree with you. If I was starting a team and I wanted to win the Stanley Cup, I might take Hedman. But you know, that's why, you know, because that's why to me,
tough.
I'll be you know, full honesty with, you know, I used to get to vote for the awards, and now I work here for the NHL Network, so I don't know if we were allowed to vote for them. I stopped before that. I don't like voting for the individual awards because this is such a team game. It's so important, all the pieces. I've never heard anybody step up and say, you know, it was great to win the Stanley Cup, but I would have rather had the Norris. I mean, you know, it just doesn't happen. It's the ultimate team sport. So it's great that the guys get to win those awards. I'm happy for them to get that recognition. But in this case, if any of these three guys won the Norris Trophy this year, would that be the wrong answer? I don't know. I mean, if Adam Fox was in the mix, Charlie McAvoy, a number of these guys, it's just great players. I'm amazed night in and night out when I go to games and when I'm fortunate enough to be there live or watch it on TV. And you guys could certainly know because you played and you've watched the elevation of the players. They're so good. There's things that these guys can do now is amazing. So three great choices. The Professional Hockey Writers Association, they're the ones that vote on it, and also for the viewers to know, they vote on it at the end of the regular season. So they're not taking into account things we're seeing now and things we're going to see over the next several weeks.
When it's this close, and we always say it and compliment all the finalists, but it really is this close, I believe in
that.
Yeah,
I agree.
And subjective, so you can't go wrong. And if certain voters like one guy, I think it's going to be pretty darn close, though.
I feel great.
But I agree with Josi.
Yeah.
I think his year was special. And that
almost 100 points. Yeah. I mean, 96 points.
Wow. I feel great they got the right three guys, though.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Adam Fox or the other guys, but I feel like these three players really distinguished.
They were the best
just
three.
A little bit higher than the rest.
And I love the passionate fans because the fan bases of Tampa or Colorado or Nashville, if one of their guys does not get it, they're going to say, you're nuts. Oh, these guys have no clue. They have no idea as far as the voters. But you just can't go. These are three special players.
So many good defensemen. Miro Heiskanen, we love him too. I mean, there's so many.
I didn't even talk about him.
I know. Well, let's see. He's 2 into talking right now on the ice with a 2-1 lead over the Flames. Game 4 tonight in Big D. Let's talk about the draft lottery because that is going to happen tomorrow. We do it here at our studio in Secaucus, and big day. And you can see changes to the draft lottery. And moving forward, teams that win one of the lottery draws, and I believe there are 2 draws for the first and the second pick, they can only move up a maximum of 10 selections in the draft. So if a team that's, let's say, 15th wins the lottery, they can only move up to 5, right? I mean, 10 spots. So that's it. Now, and here's another little twist, and I think this addresses some of the circumstances where teams have been bad for long periods of time and won multiple lotteries. No team can advance in the draft order by winning the draft lottery more than 2 times in any 5-year period. And that 5-year period begins with this lottery, so things that have happened in the past are not impacted. So it's a day when it's an interesting day for a lot of teams as they see where their luck is going to bring them in the draft, which comes up in July this year, taking place in Montreal.
Yeah, it certainly is an interesting day, and we're always thrilled to host it here at NHL Network, which you can see tomorrow evening, as you mentioned, each. And you know what? The NHL has been a work in progress, specifically with the lottery. We used to be very, very kind of predetermined in terms of your finishing and where you would pick. Then we changed the rules in 15, 16 over a couple of years, made it a little less so. Now we've brought it back to the middle again, and I think it's a good change. There's always a lot of discussion on this point. Some great players this year. Shane Wright stands out as a guy that may be wire to wire the #1 pick. That's what everybody's kind of eyeing, and yet how do we say his name? Juraj Slafkovsky.
Nice, Lots.
Who's plying his trade with Finland. SM League obviously is doing a great job.
From Slovakia, right?
We saw Slovak playing in Finland.
We saw him at the World Juniors. He was terrific. We saw him in the Olympics. He was terrific.
He was out of this world. He's a guy that's potentially challenging for that first over pick. And from the U.S., of course, Logan Cooley has played tremendous as well. As you take a look at Juraj Slafkovský, and what stands out about him is really the maturity in his game, but the size.
Look at that, 6'4", 220.
That's tough.
Yeah, a lot of scouts talking about that and how well he played and how quickly his game has grown. It's going to be a fascinating draft, and we're looking forward to it in Montreal. And I can't wait to be there.
Lots. You keep up with this as well as you, EJ. Probably a little more than me. Having said that, we always watch them when we can, whether it's in the World Juniors or whatever it may be. Shane Wright, for the last 3 years, has been kind of that guy. All that pressure on him since 14 years old, really, or 15 years old. When it's his draft year, he's going to be #1 overall. And then we read that, well, his game dipped a little bit, but we forgot, or shall I say, it was pointed out during COVID, didn't play as much, and he's had another terrific year and gotten back to being where really, you know, he slotted right near the top, correct?
Yeah. You know, I'll tell you one thing, Dano, and this is what I'll say for Shane Wright before we head to break, is that guys that have been at the top of the list for that long, they get over-scouted. They get discussed too much. They get every little.
So you analyze every aspect of their game, and like if they have a bad week or whatever.
It just seems like, I know that, you know, Cam Fowler comes to mind with the Ducks. He was somebody that was on the radar for a long time.
Should have been third.
Right? And he was excellent. He's been great, right, for the Anaheim Ducks. So we'll see what happens.
Anaheim to 11th.
I know, amazing, right? And the Ducks were pretty happy that it's worked out pretty well. But the draft lottery is tomorrow. So the fans of teams that are hoping to better their odds in the draft, be ready, because tomorrow is your day.